TRP extended. Wow. So many cool things you can do. So many lovely things you can see. There's just one problem. Some of us may not know how to work it. So that's what I'm going to do here today. My name is Cinn Bracket. I play on Wormrest Accord. I'm with the Guildhouse of Stewards. I'm throwing this video together as part of maybe an introductory thing on how to actually use TRP Extended. So that way you can actually make items for your campaigns or for roleplay or whatever you're going to do. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. I don't really know if I'm going to even make a full series. I guess I probably should, considering you can get pretty in-depth with a lot of these items. So the first thing I guess we're going to do is I'm actually going to sit down and make an item. I have to make it for a buddy. Actually, like it's an icy gift that I got to do. So I guess I'm going to cover some of the basic features of what you're looking at as far as right here. So when you have TRP and TRP extended, everybody kind of knows how to work the profile thing. I could probably do a video on that, but I'm not going to right now. So you have this thing right here when you have TRP3 extended. It's called Extended Objects Database. You hit that little button, and boom. You're probably not going to see this if you've never even used extended before. You're not going to have items in there. Like I've made items of Tactical Shrink Ray, version 1, the Hive Mind, a couple Ruined Journals, the Boxed Wine that I made for Relissa, Vath's Test Arm. Don't yell at me, I haven't finished it. I haven't even started. I'm sorry. And this is the puzzle box stuff. I'll have to go into that. The puzzle box, actually, I might want to do a video on because it's exceptionally complicated as to how I got it to work. But it's actually pretty informative for people that actually want to do like test triggers and stuff, especially for setting up like quests. That's where a lot of those things come into play. So you're going to see this here. You're going to see create item, quick object import. We'll cover importing and exporting a little bit in this as well, just so everybody knows. Full objects import. You can grab somebody's entire file if they send you whatever it is. I'm pretty sure they have to send it in a folder or a zip or something like that. I'm not sure. I have never used that before. Everything else here I have used, slightly on the campaign part. So you have object IDs, object names, locate all, search, blah, 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 searchy things, generated ID, da, 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 da. The funny thing about TRP3 Extended, which is one of the security features, is that every item you create, you can share. There are ways to block like malicious emotes, trolling. I have heard that people can use TRP to, I guess, send key logging software. I'm not really sure how true that is. I am going to cover, I guess, some of the security portions of that as far as we go. Now, there is one button that you do need to probably uncheck when it comes down to extended settings. So you're going to go little chalice over here. There's this. You're going to see, characters, directory, that stuff. A lot of that applies to the profile. Now, when you get to this, you're going to see extended settings. Weight limit is then get profile. You're lovely. You need to get out of my way, though. Thank you. Weight unit is in pounds because, America. Local sounds, local playback, automatically, local music, blah, 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 permissions, and blah, 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 blah for all that. You're going to probably go down to advanced here. There is a button, and I don't actually know where it is. I'll have to find it here later on. You do need to uncheck it. And it is the button that like blocks items that are traded to you that can do certain functions with your character. You want to disable that because items will not work if you receive them from another player. A lot of them won't. A document item will work. Certain items won't. Like I create items with emotes for your character. Like if you ever get to shoot the shovel shooter, and I make a couple more of those, I'm in the wrong thing. You actually get to do it. And it's this pretty cool emote. I have it. I don't have it anymore. My TRP wiped. Mental note, like I said, we'll cover the whole importing and exporting thing because it's pretty important. So let's just sit down and we'll just create an item. I actually am going to create a sweet little music box today. So you can do quick creation if you want. I really don't. I personally just do the whole expert. You just do the blank template. You can add in all kinds of stuff. Quick creation has a couple things where you can like decide what you want to do and all that. I'm not even going to bother covering that because everybody wants to know how to do it without the baby steps. So we have a blank item, blank template, container. You can make bags. That that carry certain things. You can make like 20 slot bags for your character in game in your TRP inventory. You can put bags in bags on your TRP inventory. That way you can expand your item storage. I don't have any of those. Actually, I do. There is this. That's the hive mind system. That's got the hive mind in it with the extra inactive drones. That's for when I ideally need to go out and set up stuff for my character. Well, we're not talking about that right now because we could go on a rant. So we'll just hit this expert item button. And this is what you're going to get to. This beautiful, wonderful blank screen. It's not really blank, but there is just nothing here. And this is where people kind of get a little confused at this point, because then you're going to look at these tabs. You got the main, the workflows, that comes in, that's pretty important. Inner objects is also very important. Event links, that is for campaigns. I will probably have to sit down and talk about campaigns eventually, and from what I know, and actually do a little more research, because like I said, I kind of know how they work slightly. So what we'll do is we'll just start going. Item name. This is the name that you see like on any other item. For instance, you know, like we'll just use kill command here. If kill command were an item, that is the name that you see. It's just kill command. So we'll just put in elegant music box. Cool. Now you have tooltip left custom text and tooltip right custom text. These bars I usually use as like short descriptive things to actually show people what they do in a sense. So you'll see like this also has a left text, and this also has a right text. You know, the left text is usually in WoW, it's, you know, how much energy it takes to use, and then the right it says like melee range, and then below that it'll say instant, and then whatever. We're not going to go all super crazy mode on that. What we're going to do is we're just going to do this. We're going to go trinket, wedding gift, because that's what it is. Now, we have over here the item quality, which, you know, you could be common, uncommon, poor. You could have a sweet, elegant music box be a vendor item. Rare, epic, legendary, artifact, heirloom. I'm going to mark this as heirloom because you never know if they actually pass this on. Be kind of cool to see like an heirloom music box in a sense. That way, you know, I don't know. I feel that that kind of relates to that. I can put crafted on here. It'll tag it as I've made it, as in my character. That way it has an origination thing. Considering that they have that box, every generated ID, you can still kind of figure out who made it, because if I have the original ID, or, you know, the version, like the most versions of it, if I've altered it and whatever, it's mine. Hey, there's my dog. Where you at, Looney? Whatever. Now we're not dealing with you right now. Quest flag, that is for campaigns again. That item usually will prompt a certain campaign or anything to start. It's like those quests where you find like some stupid journal out in the middle of WoW, and it's like, hey, go bring me 100 bear asses because you found this journal and you need to know what happened to all the bear asses. Like, it's that kind of, that's what quest flag means. Hopefully these descriptions are short, sweet, and to the point. I'm gonna stop for some Fresca for a moment. Sparkling flavored original citrus. They're not sponsoring me, just saying. Okay, so tooltip description. This is where you can describe, you know, what it does. If we look at any item or any button in game, you know, it's gonna say hurl a bomb with the target, blah 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 blah. You know, that's what this does. So what we're going to do is we're going to say a very ornate, beautiful music box that features two elvish figures dancing around one another, respective markings for the bride and groom. They'll know what it is. They have already described it. I probably could go into more detail on this. I'm not going to. It's just a tooltip. I will show you how to do even more detail if you have an emote and all that. So we'll leave it as that. Don't mark it as a crafting reagent, because that means when you mark something as a crafting reagent, you need that plus another item to make something else. Obviously, it's crafting. I mean, it's very simple. TRP 3 copies a lot of what Blizzard has. You have to have like 3 things to make one in crafting. We don't need to mark it as that. I can't mark it as crafted on this because that way people will say, you know, oh well, Cinn made it. So we'll find a cool little thing here. This is the item icons and all that. We are going to go and find ourselves some sort of, hell yeah, we'll mark it as spectral sight. That's actually that's darkness. No, that's blur. Yeah, we'll put it as blur. Yeah, that'd totally be great. No, we're not doing that. We can actually filter with this cute little bar. Trinket. Um, Trinket. I don't know if I want it black. I do like that box. It's pretty cool. I'm using that. Free notes. This item was featured in Cinn's TRP 3 extended item making bonanza. Because why not? This one is unique. You can mark it as that. You know, when it's you can read the tooltip. It says when active, maximum item units that can be possessed by a character will be limited. Max units is 1. There's only 1 of these. I could make another music box, but it would be different. But this one is just for that friend. Stackable. Not really, considering there's only 1. I mean, you don't really want to stack an extra music box. You could do Soulbound. I probably won't, because you never know if Lizana might want to share that around. So we'll just leave it as that. Usable. Yes, we have to mark usable for this, because if you're going to make emotes, you want it to actually have this checked. That way you can put this usage text that says, turn the little crank on the left side and watch the magic happen. Not a container. We can check this. However, we can't do it on this. I will just add it manually to my inventory. I'll show you how to do that. This right here, prevent the player from manually adding the item to their inventory. Then it can only be added or looted through workflows. This has a big thing to do with campaigns. This also keeps this item from getting copied out of your master inventory. Not something you want to check if you don't have any sort of way to actually craft an item. You can obviously go back and uncheck it if you've created it, but just as a mental note, check this if you're going to do any sort of campaigns or anything, because if you want it to be crafted, it has to be crafted, and that's how you stop that as well, because knowing me, I'd just be like, oh, I'll just add it to my inventory. Pickup sounds. These actually work, surprisingly. Now we could put, like, you know, a bag, makes that cool little bag sound. The book sound. Where is... I don't like the chain. Metal. I don't like metal small either. What about ring? What about rock, actually? No, not rock. Ring? I like ring. We'll use that. So we have this already set up. Item value and blah blah blah. Nobody knows. It's custom. This is better than Coors and Gucci combined. All right, it's custom as hell. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just show you what this item looks like in the database. It has its generated ID. The little flag I think means it's in English. That part I don't really care. You can actually just change the language and all that. There's a way to do it. I'm not gonna go into that. Super radio. I forgot about you. Elegant music box. You'll see it like this. You know, you can read the tooltip. If I added it to my inventory, you could read it again. I actually will add it to my inventory here in a little bit after I've done a few things with it. So you see, trinket, wedding gift, unique. You can only carry 1. It's not soulbound. A very ornate, beautiful music box. Two elvish figures dancing around. Use turn the little crank on the left side and watch the magic happen. Bam. It's easy. It'll tell you who made it. You know, Snelly, worm rest chord, generated ID, blah 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 blah. Version 2, I've saved it twice. Security level is high. Mode is expert. I think I can actually change this to where the security is low. I will have to figure that out at a different time. I'm not going to do that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this tab right here. This is the workflows tab. Context isn't an item, whatever. I'm not going to do that. I usually like to sum these things up because some of these weird computerish lingos is weird. Your damn words are weird. A workflow is a set of instructions that can make your object dynamic. That's pretty spot on. Here you can define all your workflows for this object. Then you can link them to an action in the event links tab. So let's just create a workflow. We're going to call this crank. Doesn't really matter. Lizana is probably never going to look at that. All she's going to know is she's going to be able to click the box and it's going to do a cool emote, which is fancy, and that's what we want. So let's just talk about this page real quick. You can see this version, blah, 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 IDs, expert, blah, 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 blah. A lot of this doesn't change. It's just this internal part is what changes. Scroll bar. Yeah. Why am I pointing out the scroll bar? No idea. So we're going to do one of these. Add element to workflow. This is what you have to hit in order to start adding. Now you have these things. You have effects, conditions, delays. Plays an effect, sounds, displaying text, exe. That's the one we're going to be using for an emote. Conditions starts getting into parts of crafting and certain things with triggers and campaigns. For instance, if you don't have two pieces of something that you need to merge together, you can't really invest and like further the quest or whatever. It gets very, very simple like that. But obviously, it's a little more complicated than what you actually look than what you actually just see. It doesn't just say, "Oh, well, you have to have this." You have to tell it and all that, whatever. Delay pauses the workflow. You can use that as a cast bar. I actually probably am going to put one of those in. Let's do that real quick. We'll just do it for like let's do it as a 3-second delay. You can interrupt on move. We'll do a cast bar. I'm not going to do a cast sound ID. I probably could find a good one. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't really want to do that. Cast text, winding. Duration, that's 3 seconds. This is in seconds. I don't think there's any other measurement of time. I don't know why I said it like that either. But yeah, 3 seconds. So interrupt on move. Important to have interrupt on move because you don't want somebody to just sit there and click an item and it just spams and they're just moving around. That's kind of gets a little annoying. So yeah, confirm. So we have this, and now we're going to add an effect. Now these effects get pretty deep. I mean, this is the biggest thing right here. Is this whole thing like what do you want it to do? So you're going to see what common. It'll display text, and I believe that's just regular English or whatever English you have your character set, or not English, whatever language you have your character set to. I don't really use that one. When I make an item, I want it to actually describe what's happening with the item. So speech and emotes probably your go-to thing whenever you're making an item that's going to do something. Like if you're going to go out there and make like the Sword of 1,000 Truths and it's going to suck the life out of people, you're probably going to want to emote it saying, yeah, it's going to kill you and suck the life out of you, and then it's the Sword of 1,000 Truths. So we'll get into that part. So speech, narration. We could do a narrated emote. Because that means there's nobody speaking. It'll just be the music box, in a sense, that's doing that. We could do it as like Lozano winds the music box, and then the music box starts doing this, and it's like, nah, we're not going to do that. NPC, obviously, some other NPCs doing that. That's useful in campaigns when you're trying to make new characters and all that. That's fine. Player, obviously, that's what we would be using for like a character actually doing some sort of action. So we'll just do narration for now. And I really love TRP's little jokes they do. Snow blows wide on the mountain tonight. Freaking lame. Come on, man. By the way, Frozen 2, totally gonna go see it. So we have this narrated text. Now this is where I get to sit down and think for a minute on what exactly this music box is. I know what it does. I just want to describe it the right way. Give me a second. Got to pause for a vape break. Okay. Okay. So, we've collected ourselves. What have we thought of? Here we go. The music. Yeah, the muckus. Yeah, the muckus. The music box begins to. I don't know how to spell that word. Begins to. Let's change that up. Top of the music box twirls open, revealing two elvish figures that dance about each other within a hand-carved grove that is exceptionally familiar. That is exceptionally detailed. One figure is standing within a everbloom blossom. The reason for I'm using certain things like this already is because I've already emoted these things and described how the music box goes, so now I have to just make the item for it. Within an everbloom blossom. The other twirls about within a swirl of twirls about encased in what looks to be a yeah, I'm really sorry. I should not be saying this much, but I get kind of really involved when I'm like writing certain things. Um, let's do that. It's a long emote, very long emote. Mental note: when you're making TRP 3 extended items and all that, and you're just making items in general, it's really good to have emote splitter or some other like emote breaking up tool. I just use emote splitter because that's the one I have. So it's good to have that because I mean, if I'm gonna write like a 300 400 character emote, I mean, I think it's kind of much. You know, it's a little crazy. So now that we have this done, we're actually going to test it. We're going to look at all this. Workflow security low, that's cool, totally downgraded. I guess that must just change automatically, which is nice. So what we're going to do, we have this. Now you're probably wondering, how do we get this to work? I could show you. Right now it won't work because the usage part is not bound to that workflow. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. On use. This is where you have to link your TRP items to a workflow that you've created within in order to work. I mean, you got to have the item and then what the item is going to do, and then you have to link those two together. This is what the on use does. On stack destroy is a crafting feature and a campaign feature slightly, and whenever you get rid of an item, it should execute another workflow to spawn another item that maybe you've got lined up. For instance, people that like to like hand make custom things and they just like to build certain components to get where they're at. You can get really in depth with extended as far as like crafting certain items can go, as far as like immersion and all that, which is nice. So what we're gonna do, we already have this linked to workflow crank. You're gonna put that there, hit that save button, and there you go. It's linked. So we've just basically told it that whenever I right click that item, it's gonna delay for 3 seconds. It'll say winding, and then it'll say this. Now we're actually going to test that, and it's gonna be excellent. And add to main inventory. Trick question. It's a unique item. You can only add one. You can actually add like a bunch. You know, obviously you can add like fucking bajillion if they're stackable and all that. You can get really creative. It's all what you want to define. Now, elegant music box. Very ornate, beautiful music box. I'm checking this thing for typos. I like how it does say that on the bottom. Made by Cinn Sparks Sprocket. Yes. Yes! Spark Sprocket Industries. Let's give it a right click and see what happens. It's winding. And big fat emote. Let's see. Top of the music box twirls open, revealing 2 elvish figures that dance about each other within a hand-carved grove that is exceptionally detailed. One figure is standing within an everbloom blossom. The other twirls about encased in what looks to be a small dark crystal. The pair dance about each other as a cheerful song rings out from within the inner workings of the device. I think that is perfect. I could really get detailed with that. I don't really know if the person I'm giving this to wants to see an entire chat box of this elegant emote. Don't really think they want to see that. They probably do, but they're probably going to be happy with that. At least I hope so. I can also alter it if they ask me to, because I have the master file. That's how this works. I just realized I have a bunch of things in my inventory. I need to get rid of those. You go away. So that's basically the gist of creating items. You know, I mean, it's simple, but I don't think people really, I guess, get that in a sense. I've heard of people that are like, oh, I'd love to use extended, but I just don't know how. That's kind of the gist for creating items. I mean, it took me about 25 minutes to run through that. And I mean, I even paused to stop. You know, you can get really cool and create a lot of things pretty fast with TRP extended. Big fan of that. I don't really know if people would want to see me cover an item that is far more detailed. I could. The hive mind, for one, is an item that is very detailed. I have used this like a few times. I wish I could get my guild to use it, or the actual like frequency tuner. The problem with some of these things is that because people don't really know how it works and the way that they, the security stuff and all that with TRP, and you have to uncheck that box. I have to find that box. I might actually find that box while I'm still recording this. But this is my case in point. One of these items that does a bunch of cool stuff sits like this. I have input, control, ping, variable set. I have an entire workflow of just what we have to set for variables. You can get very detailed with these items. These items can get very immersive. I'm going to actually show you. I'm going to actually show you to do that. I'm going to actually show you. So let's do this. I have two of these right now. This is what a kind of arguably a advanced item will do, besides just do an emote. So I actually know the passwords to all these. Oh crap! I started auto running. Wanted to make sure my number lock was on. Okay, it is on. Sweet. So we're gonna right click. Hive mind welcomes you. Enter your access code. Trick question. That's my birthday. Hive mind awaits your instructions. Enter order. So it will prompt you for you to put in inputs and commands, and if you set it up right, it will do this, and it's awesome. I actually waited too long because I actually waited too long to get it going, and that sucks. So I'm gonna go through it real quick one more time. So you have to start over. You can get really detailed with this stuff. It's awesome. Let's do activate. Because it'll start doing stuff. And right here, I have an emote tied to all that says starts inputting commands into the Hive Mind controller. That means I'm doing stuff with an item. Yes, I totally want to activate it. Now watch here. It's going to take one of these inactive ones, use one of these activation codes, and then you have an active one. Then you can place that with TRP stashes, and that way people, when they check the map for stashes, they can be like, oh cool, Cinn actually ran out there and set up a bunch of security drones. That is... it's simple, took like 5 minutes to do all that, but just to set that up, that was like a day or two affair, but that was when I also didn't really know what I was doing. So, like I said, I don't really know if people want me to run through this, through deeper items. I feel that people would probably like that, maybe, because you get to use extended fully for what it's worth. So I would totally do that. I would really get in deep to it. I mean, I could cover how the puzzle box was done. I actually need to rework it because I think I found a better way to do it. The frequency tuner is another one that I would totally love to go through and show people how like variables work, triggers work, input commands like the Hive Mind does, input commands that are even on the frequency tuner. So you can get really in depth, but just to cover this video again, I mean, this is, look at this. You have an entire item sitting in your inventory, and you can right click it, and boom. Everybody will know what that does. It's a cool little music box. I could actually tie that to some of the in-game music. I don't really like it. I could. It gets a little spammy if you click that a bunch of times, and then you just get to repeat a song and all that. So, with that, yeah. I guess that's really the first of this video done. I guess let me know if people have any questions, comments, or concerns. If you want me to like change something up and how I may be explaining this, I also welcome that, because this is a series, if I do a series at all, for everybody to kind of, get a bit more immersion out of something they have installed already. So, yeah, I guess let me know how things go. Cinn Sparksprocket, and I will be around. Have a good one, guys.